This is a very international phenomenon, and it has deep roots in the attempts of economies to try and find ways of rebalancing their economy after the financial crisis. So most countries have actually injected large extra amounts of funding, especially into research. So although the settlement in the UK recently announced has been quite good given the expected 30% cuts, to have a 10% cut in real terms is thought to be a good settlement, and it probably is in terms of the overall crisis in public spending, or at least the portrayal of a crisis in public spending. But the idea that universities and university research can play an important role in driving recovery forward is very common. And so most countries are dealing with this issue. And it's producing, at the same time, in all countries, a great concern to be accountable for this extra funding that's being put in. So at the same time as there's more funding, or a belief that in the UK you should have relatively low cuts, that will go alongside a much greater scrutiny of what kind of impacts this research is having. And whereas it's true that there is perhaps a better perception of the benefits that can accrue from supporting both university teaching and university research, the extent to which the returns are expected of a very short period is probably still too high. And the idea that you can estimate these impacts very directly and very quickly, the view of that is probably still too optimistic. So these gains will appear in a very diffuse fashion, they'll appear after many years, and also they'll depend critically on what other players in the economy do. So you can have the best scientific research, whether it's in social sciences, arts and humanities, or the natural sciences. The transformation of that into innovation, into new products, into new jobs, that depends on investment by the private sector and also supporting investment by the public sector. So there's too great a tendency to think that if the UK doesn't transform its science base into real output, that's the fault of the universities. It's actually a common problem, which is getting everybody to be able to invest in the other assets that are needed to exploit university opportunities.